To a story we're following this morning out of Barrow County. You're looking live inside the courtroom this morning, Barrow County Superior Court, where we have already seen Judge Nicholas Prim enter the bench. I believe we are just now also seeing Colt Gray. Right there you see dyed his hair dark from the first time we saw him a couple years ago. He, of course, today is at the center of this hearing. The accused Apalachee High School shooter, the shooting that happened nearly 2 years ago in Winder in Barrow County. He's accused of killing 4 people, 2 teachers, 2 students, and this morning in this hearing, we could see him enter a non-negotiated plea deal. Let's listen in as court is getting started.
Can you put your name on the record, please? Okay. What I need you to do is that microphone off or on?
It's off, sir.
For now, if you don't mind turning it on, make sure that. And how old are you, Mr. Gray? 16 years old. You're represented by Mr. Charlton Allen standing next to you? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Allen, if I'm correct, you've been representing him since at least the beginning of the year, is that right?
Yes, Judge. I was retained on December 18th.
Mr. Gray, my understanding is you were before me this morning because you intended for a guilty plea to the indictment. Is that accurate? Yes, Your Honor. I want to go over some very important rights with you before you enter a guilty plea, okay? Yes, Your Honor. So understand that the decision to plead guilty has to be voluntary on your part. No one can force you to enter a guilty plea because you have an absolute right to a jury trial. Yes, Your Honor. So if you wanted a jury trial, you would obtain one. We have one scheduled in October. You understand that? Yes, Your Honor. Understand that Mr. Allen would represent you throughout the jury trial. You understand? Yes, Your Honor. And that at trial you'd be presumed innocent. Could not be convicted unless the state was able to prove your guilt to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that? Yes, sir. Understand that Mr. Allen would have the right to confront and cross-examine each and every witness that testifies against you. Yes, sir. You understand that you would have a right to subpoena your own witnesses to testify on your behalf. Yes, sir. To testify in your own defense if you wanted to. Yes, sir. That no one could force you to testify at a trial because you have a right to remain silent at a trial. Yes, sir. If you chose not to testify, the jury would be instructed they could not use your silence against you in any manner in their deliberations and in your understand that, sir. Now, also understand that if you had a trial and there were any legal errors that occurred during the course of the trial, you have a right to file an appeal for any of those legal errors. You understand that? Yes, sir. Enter a guilty plea, however, that you're about to do, you waive and give up each of the rights I've just gone over. Yes, sir. So you understand each of these rights. Yes, sir. Do you have any questions about them whatsoever? No, Your Honor. Do you wish to voluntarily give up those rights and enter a guilty plea today? Yes, Your Honor. And that's a decision that you're making with your own free will, because that's how you decided you want to resolve your case? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Allen, have you completed what we call a plea sheet?
Yes, Judge, I have. Now, approach.
Yes, Mr. Gray, take a look at that document real quick. You recognize it? Yes, Your Honor. All right, Mr. Allen. So, Mr. Gray, I'm holding up the document that just been handed that you just identified. You do, in fact, recognize the document? Yes, Your Honor. Did you review it in its entirety with Mr. Allen? Yes, Your Honor. Is this your signature on the back side of the document? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Allen, can you put on the record how you reviewed it with him?
Well, we had a conversation yesterday on the phone where he was looking at a copy, and I was in my office, and we went through it line item by line item. I explained each item to him. This morning, when he came in, I took that same document and went back over it, and he put his initials on each one of those answers that you see before.
Mr. Gray, is that accurate? Yes, Your Honor. So, Mr. Gray, on the form, next to each of the numbered questions, there's an initial CG. Did you place those initials, or did Mr. Allen? I placed them, Your Honor. So, Mr. Gray, do you have any questions whatsoever about any of the rights or advisements contained in this form? No, Your Honor. So you understood it? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mr. Allen, do you have any concerns that Mr. Gray does not understand the other rights that he believes in his entering a guilty plea?
No, Your Honor, I think he's fully capable of making this decision.
Mr. Gray, are you presently under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or any other substance?
No, Your Honor.
For any reason, are you supposed to be taking medication?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had access to that medication?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you been taking it as prescribed?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you have a treatment provider and you're following their recommendations, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you able to take the medication yesterday?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you take the medication today?
Yes, Your Honor.
You feel all right today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any mental health issues or mental health disabilities?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that why you take the medication?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your mind's clear.
Yes, Your Honor.
And again, your mental health treatment provider, you're following their recommendations as well, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gray, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, state, what charges is Mr. Gray pleading guilty to today?
Your Honor, all 55 charges.
All 55 counts of the indictments. Mr. Allen, assuming that you have reviewed the entire indictment with Mr. Gray,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gray, are you aware of all of the charges in the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about any of those charges?
No, Your Honor.
This is a 55-count indictment, if I'm not mistaken, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Allen, you've reviewed all 55 charges with Mr. Gray.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gray, you understand all 55 charges,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you understand that you would be pleading guilty to the entire indictment today, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, as I understand it, I want to discuss the maximum and minimum punishment with you, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you understand, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, the minimum punishment that you're facing with the charges that you're pleading guilty to is a life sentence that could be parole.
Yes, Your Honor.
The maximum punishment that you're facing is the rest of your life in prison without parole. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, anything you need to add?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Now, this is a non-negotiated guilty plea, is that right?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, make sure you don't stop me. So, Mr. Gray, you understand that with a non-negotiated guilty plea, there's no plea deal. The state will present a case and make argument for what they think the appropriate sentence is. And Mr. Allen will do the same. Both sides have the opportunity to present witnesses, evidence in aggravation, evidence in mitigation. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that the sentence is solely for me to decide.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that once the sentence is pronounced, you understand that you have no right to withdraw a guilty plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, as I indicated, pleading guilty has to be voluntary on your part. With that in mind, has anyone forced you, threatened you, or coerced you in any manner to get you plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
Have you been promised or offered anything whatsoever that's causing you to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
Have you had sufficient time to discuss the case with Mr. Allen, telling him everything you want him to know about the case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the legal representation and advice you've been given?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Smith, we're going to need a factual basis for the charges.
Your Honor, as a point of order, the original indictment was under seal. I believe we've given you an order to unseal that. Can I?
I have signed the order. Do you have the unsealed?
I do, so I will unseal it, Your Honor. Your Honor, counts 1 through 12 go towards the 4 deceased victims. They consist of malice murder in Barrow County on September 4th, 2024, that unlawfully and with malice aforethought caused the death of a human being by shooting them with a firearm. Felony murder in Barrow County on the same date while in the commission of a felony, that felony being aggravated assault, it caused the death of a human being. and aggravated assault in Barrow County on the same date did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. As to counts 1, 2, and 3, the malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault are for the victim of Christian Angulo. Counts 4, 5, and 6, which are the malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault for the victim Richard Aspinwall. Counts 7, 8, and 9, the malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault for the victim Anna Christina Irami. Counts 10, 11, and 12 for the malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault for the victim Mason Schermerhorn. Your Honor, counts 13 and 14 are for the injured adult. That would be David Phoenix. Count 13 being aggravated assault in Barrow County on the same date did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. An aggravated battery in Barrow County on the same date that maliciously caused bodily harm to David Phoenix by seriously disfiguring his body by shooting him with a firearm. Your Honor, counts 15 through 23 are for the children who were injured in the assault. That being the charges being aggravated assault in Barrow County on the same date did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. Aggravated battery in Barrow County on the same date did maliciously cause bodily harm to another person by seriously disfiguring said person's body by shooting them with a firearm. And cruelty to children in the first degree that in Barrow County on the same date did maliciously cause a child under the age of 18 years cruel and excessive physical and mental pain by shooting them with a firearm. For counts 15, 16, and 17, the aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and cruelty to children in the first degree is for the victim, Melanie DeLira Castaneda. For counts 18, 19, and 20, the aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Natalie Griffith. And for counts 21, 22, and 23, the aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Taylor Jones. Your Honor, the next two counts, 24 and 25, are for the non-injured adults that were in the room 2152 at Apalachee High School that Colt Gray stepped into and fired indiscriminately. First adult victim was Cassandra Ryan. That's count 24, aggravated assault. In Barrow County on the same day, did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. Count 25 is the victim, Stephen Edwards. Aggravated assault in Barrow County on the same day did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. Your Honor, counts 26 through 53 are for the non-injured children who were in room 2152. Those counts consist of aggravated assault that in Barrow County on the same day did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon, and cruelty to children in the first degree that in Barrow County on the same day did maliciously cause a child under the age of 18 years cruel and excessive mental pain by discharging a firearm multiple times inside a classroom occupied by said child. For counts 26 and 27, aggravated assault and cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Landon Adams. For counts 28 and 29, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Jackson Beaver. For counts 30 and 31, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Hayden Bowen. For counts 32 and 33, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Jalen Brady. For counts 34 and 35, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Michaela Brown. For counts 36 and 37, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, William Carricker. For counts 38 and 39, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Marquez Coleman. For counts 40 and 41, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Kendez Lawrence. For counts 42 and 43, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Martin Marino Galdamez. For counts 44 and 45, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Tyler Moon. For counts 46 and 47, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Ariana Norman. For counts 48 and 49, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Brittany Rubio. For counts 50 and 51, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Ronald Vega. And for counts 52 and 53, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Nautical Walton. Your Honor, counts 54 and 55 were for a child that was in the hallway, Zane Zinni. Aggravated assault is count 54 in Barrow County did on the same date make an assault upon the person of Zane Zinni with a firearm, a deadly weapon. And count 55, cruelty to children in the first degree in Barrow County on the same date did maliciously cause a child under 18 years of age cruel and excessive mental pain by pointing a firearm at said child.
Is there anything the state needs to add or would like to add for the factual basis?
There.
Mr. Gray, you heard the factual basis for each count disannounced by the state. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree that there are facts to support each of the charges against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty to each of the charges because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, is there anything I need to address before accepting the plea? Anything else?
There.
All right, Mr. Gray, I will accept the plea. I find there's a factual basis for it. You understand the nature of the charges, the consequences of the plea, the rights you give up when pleading guilty, you have entered this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so as far as proceeding, the state will be able to present the victim impact, evidence and aggravation. We'll go from there to the defense for any evidence and mitigation. And we'll have the argument, which I will ask you to do today. All right, the guilty plea has been